Hey everybody, and just welcome to a little brief update. I guess, what does the future hold? So, obviously, I'm still building Ultimates left and right, but I wanted to give a little sneak peek of the next 8 or so I'm working on. Currently, I have some parts for each individual. I'll explain kind of what the parts I'm going to be using, um, what outside help I'll be using. So, let's get started. And these are, feel free to steal these formulas if you like these formulas. So, I'm starting with Wild Man Mark Marrow. I've got the head already off to Cujo to get painted properly. It's going to match the skin tone of that new Ultimate Warrior Target exclusive we got. Because comparing photos to him and Austin, I was like, he is really tan compared to Austin. So, and he's not even, it's not even that earlier Warrior tan. We're talking it's that more brownish tan that Warrior came with. So it's going to work, I think, really well for that. I'm using the Ultimate Warrior body. I don't have the decals for the full Ultimate for the Wild Man that I'm planning to make. I'm going to see if Curb Stomp is going to be adding new stuff, or if he takes suggestions, or if I can find somebody. Another option is I can always just get one of my cloth makers to make Wild Man trunks potentially. So he was not going to have frills on the side. It was going to be more of just the black King of the Ring look. Possibly with a little bit of Macho Man boots, because I have some spare Macho Man boots with the tassels. So it's going to be more of a black, white, brownish, tiger looking attire. So stay tuned for that. I want to do red, but I just don't see the parts really to do that right now. So stay tuned for that one. Then, after watching the Dark Side of the Ring, the Chris Adams, I've seen a Chris Adams head. His attire won't be very difficult. The body won't be very difficult. Great wrestler back in his day. Not the best, hardest to find physique. Honestly, an Austin torso I think would work best on this guy. So I almost had to look down already, but I kind of switched it over and made that into a David Von Erich because I don't have a Chris Adams head yet. So he is in the cart to be bought. He'll probably be in about a month or two. He'll probably be one of my later ones that I debut or show off. Up next, we have Ludwig Borga. Now, the head's being painted right now. It's going to be matching the Goldberg skin tone. And in fact, the person who is doing the painting for me, he's like, "Do you want me to paint the? Or am I supposed to paint the swastika under his leg or on his leg?" I was like, "No, no, definitely not. We're not going that route. We'll have that covered up, so it won't matter." Which is why he had that covered up. I did not know about that, but again, if I'm going to build one of everybody, or everybody who I can piece together, even some undesirables, I'm gonna do it because we get the Lex Luger out there, we got the new gen stuff. I don't ever see him getting a figure anyway. So, and the head sculpt they made Tom Veg made looked great. So why not? Obviously, I'll get the I have the decals already for the attire. So my option is to go with a Jim Neidhart top torso, and then either switch the legs or lower the completely move the lower half. Other option though would just be to go to my cloth guy and get a full-on singlet. I already talked about this. He said it can be done in this style with the X's across the back and the front, with the logo on front. Obviously, I have to get the boots and put the decals on the boots. So that's likely what's going to be the case with him. Salvatore Sincere. Talk about reaching for the bottom of the barrel. But, I've seen the head. I probably would go with, again, um, either. I don't really want to give him too much of a ripped look, but at the same time, I know that he became Tom Brandy later on. Um, the attire would not be too hard. White trunks, the decals are out there. I've seen the decals before. So Salvatore Sincere would not be too difficult. Again, he's not top priority. I've got so many other ones still set to come back. In fact, the 11 heads that should be showing up at my place right now, when I go back to my home tomorrow after my work here, I'll be able to start putting the Raven together and all those together. So he's another one that I will be adding to the list. Um, at this point, it's starting to be either obviously new people at Mattel releases like the Pretty Deadly or JD McDonough when he shows up. But we're going to be going back to more old school guys. Ole Anderson will be another one. I didn't mention him right now because I don't have the parts for him yet. But Salvatore Sincere ordered the head. It's going to be painted still. Then the Patriot. Now, Patriot's interesting because I've had him commissioned for a while. He was fully paid. Now he's only partially paid. We moved some money around when the Just Incredible and the Maven, all that stuff kind of came up and were finished before this one. Um, I'm talking to the guy who's supposed to be doing this one. It was going to have the Ultimate Warrior, torso. Obviously, the legs could be, it's either going to be painted. It's going to be painted, and then the head, of course, will be painted. I could get my own. I've been mentioning to a few people. I want to see the prototypes of their Patriot heads that they've casted. Of course, also the person who I commissioned to, he's says he'll work on this one eventually as well. So I guess it just depends. But he will be coming in the future. He was originally commissioned way back in the start of August, but then I've also piled on 30 more people or so. So it's taken a while, but eventually he will show up. And second to last, Masato Tanaka. Now the body is done. The tire and the decals are done. The head is on its way here after being painted. So all I really have to do now is just get the proper boots and lower leg mold to match with the knee pads. And he should be up here very short. He'll probably be one of the ones that will be shown here in the future. I'm going to start, I think, going alphabetically with how many ultimates I have. I'm going to look through what I've already showed off, and then I'm going to start going, with the whole title and then showing the figure. So I'm not doing videos where I show 20 or 30 at a time. I'm just showing one a week, maybe one every 2 weeks. All right. And last, Norman Smiley. Now the head's been sent off. It's already being painted. He's going to have the yellow Ric Flair trunks because you can take the top body part off. You can also take the legs off. So I just need to find some, and I'll probably use potentially I'll use some. Obviously, it's African American legs, but they're not going to be the super ripped, jacked ones. The only issue I'm having with this one is he wore like short kick boots. Now, Muhammad Ali comes with those kind of boots, but those legs usually attach to only shorts, and I want him into more of the trunks attire. So I'm gonna have to like look into it more on this one. But the head is getting painted. It is going to be another one. Again, these ones are further down the line, so don't expect to see these ones in the next week or so. These are further down the line. And then I figure, once every few months, I might pop up another 6 or 7 to show off what my plans are. Obviously, some of the people I've built are being produced by Mattel, like Vader, and who else was it? Well, Vader. Then there's LA Knight is getting an ultimate as well, which I can't wait for that as well. Great Muda is getting an ultimate as well. So just have to stay in here and keep hoping and whatnot. I'm hoping to make a Sheamus. That's my one wish, is because the skin tone is not anywhere possible to convert into an ultimate. I did message Steve. I even gave him a suggestion in the suggestion board on Wrestling Figs. I said, hey, what about a Sheamus ultimate where you have 3 different heads that can match 3 different eras? I mean, he has his spiky debut look. He has his mohawk that was made fun of, but kind of became cool looking. And then you even have his Brawling Brute flat hair look. I mean, you can even have what he looks like when he comes back now, if you wanted to down the future. But I digress. I want to make Norman Smiley. I want to start trying to dive into the dying days of WCW as well, which is why you're gonna have Disco Inferno. You have Norman Smiley. Depending on how Vampiro looks from boss fights, I may use that head, or I may just decide to build my own Vampiro. So just stay tuned for more. This video's gone long enough. Of course, by the way, if you're staying to watch the whole video, doubtful, but if you are, the Fig Fed news thing is going to take a drastic turn in July. When I've produced videos up to July. I pre-shot all these videos. But in July, it's going to be drastically different. It's going to be overhauled, if you will. And that reason is because I lost my roster data. Points, belt records, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I could probably find the belt records. But I lost the contract lengths, all that kind of stuff. The stuff I was trying to do. So now I'm just going to do a more in-depth 2 brands of Ultimate. AEW, Ring of Honor, and AAA will be part of the Jazzwares collective, like an indie kind of deal. And then I'm going to explain more and more as we go along. But stay tuned for that video later.